Are we actually promoting our best qualities to others? Hey, this is Tracy with Tracy Talks. Welcome. So, I had this situation come up, and I was needing to respond to somebody, and I was in a hurry, which that's a whole other topic for another day. But I was in a hurry. I didn't take enough time to really think through my response. And that's what happens when I'm in a hurry. I don't ground into what it is that I really want to say. And once I got the response back, I realized that I probably didn't respond in the best way that I could have. And it was a response that was that could be perceived as aggressive or very direct. And then in my mind, I was replaying that over. Like, why did I say that? Why didn't I take more time to respond? And then I had to snap myself back into reality. And there are aspects in my design, and with any aspect of how we show up in the world, we can see a high expression of that, or we can see a lower expression of that. And typically, what that means is that some qualities, when expressed, are received well, are helpful, that are more open and engaging. And then the qualities that seem to be on the lower end of expression can seem aggressive and angry. And it's just a tone thing that you're not open and you're overconfident. And there's ego that's kind of wrapped around in all those lower expressions. And isn't it true that, like, when we have a resume or when we're showing up for a new date or we're showing up and we're trying to present ourselves in the best way that we can, like if we just think of our life as a resume and you list out all of those amazing qualities that you think you have. And then there's these qualities that don't always seem to be our good qualities. And too much of anything can always be bad too. But these negative qualities of me being very determined and I can be assertive and I can step up and lead, that those aren't the qualities that everybody likes. And so we try to hide those. Like I try to soften those. And that's kind of one of those general rules when you are trying to show up and present yourself in the best way is you want to highlight all of the quote positive aspects and you want to diminish the quote negative aspects. And it just makes me think about, why do we do that? Like, these qualities that are not always perceived positive, maybe in the type of environment that you're trying to interject yourself into, but being assertive is very necessary quality in certain places, that is a desired quality. And how is it that, so many of us are still trying to am I trying to insert myself into environments and into relationships where I don't belong in? Like, if you can't handle me being honest and assertive with you, I shouldn't be trying to hide that. But I need to be in an environment that can handle that. And I see that so often is like, on our resumes, we want to present ourselves in these, we want to present ourselves in a way that's palatable, that people can accept us. Like, we want to tone down these intensities that we have, and we want to try to push up these qualities that really aren't our best qualities. Like, we're encouraged to, and I hate to say inflate, but I mean, the last time that I went to somebody to help me with a resume a couple of years ago, she's like, we need metrics, we need actual numbers. And I understand that it's best to provide context, like when you are performing a task. If you, it is important as well to provide metrics of how much you're doing in a week or in a day or in an hour, so somebody has context of what you're doing or what you're capable of doing. And how interesting it is that all of these perceived negative qualities that we have and that we walk through the world in. And I feel like we've been encouraged to sanitize ourselves, that these unique qualities about us, someone had encouraged us a long time ago to not act like that. Just don't do that, especially in a work environment, in a relationship. And how many of us have been trying to modify and morph into a version of us just so one person, like one person, can accept us? And when I look back to my relationships, here I was trying to like twist my body and change who I was to make one person happy. And the world has how many billion people on it? And instead of trying to find a person, a different person that actually can embrace the full spectrum of me, here I was trying to figure out a way to change. And it goes back to the resume thing. We have these qualities about us that somebody along the way told us that they were more important and they're better. These parts of you are better than those parts. So let's promote these parts and let's pretend that these parts don't exist. And what I'm here to say is, what about those parts that you have hidden, that you don't want to look at, that somebody told you was bad, somebody told you you shouldn't do that? What if actually those were your gifts? And those are the parts of you that the world needs, that the world is craving to see. Those interests that somebody told you you could never make money doing that. You can't make money being an artist. Like, don't do that. Go do accounting. But what if the world actually does need these parts of us that we were told we should hide, that we should try to change, that we should try to fix? And so my resume would look very different if I highlighted all of these aspects that somebody told me I shouldn't say and I shouldn't do and I shouldn't be. So what have you been told that wasn't good enough? Where have you been told that you needed to change? What if those parts that someone told you to hide was actually your gift to the world? Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate and review and subscribe and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at more Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.